welcome to another video from EarnPED.com. I am StevieB, glad to have you all with me today. Guys, I had actually already recorded this video. I'm doing a 2-for-1 video special for Cyber Monday for 2020. So if you guys saw the last video that I just got done uploading, I'd actually already recorded the second video. I hated the sound quality. It had a bad echo. So here I am reshooting it, but I also have information that I wanted to touch on in this video that was not in the previous recording stuff that just came to my attention in literally the past like 10 minutes. So I also decided I wanted to show you guys something a little bit different. You guys might not be aware, especially if you're a new player where I am. This is Athena Spaceport, and it is on planet Calypso. There is a teleporter over here. There's all kinds of different buildings and terminals. It's really a beautiful place. It's one of the last teleporters on Calypso that I discovered myself because it's actually way on top of a mountain. So I'll zoom out here so you guys can see. So like over here is Boreas, where most of you are familiar with. So if you go straight west from Boreas and then just slightly north, it's right here where I am on the radar. Roughly longitude 71,600. Latitude 68,252. But it's actually on top of a mountain. So while I am making the video, I'm going to run around and I'm actually going to try and jump off the side of the mountain, if at all possible, to show you guys how high up this place really is. It's really close to the edge of space, I think. So guys, I was actually shooting a different video. Have no idea what this is. Oh, it's an estate. Interesting. So I was actually shooting a video about things that new players should and should not do as far as game etiquette and common mistakes. Like I said, I did not like the recording quality, and as a result I was going to reshoot it, and Bonnie actually posted a video made by MindArk that is currently on YouTube related to version update 17.5. So as I was going through it, I came across an interesting tidbit of information, and I think I interpret it in 2 different ways. So it's something I wanted to get out there for you guys as soon as humanly possible, which is why I'm leading this video off with that, and we'll get to everything else here in a minute. So first of all, I'm watching the video. It is live on YouTube right now. You can go find it. Bonnie also posted it to the Facebook pages for Entropia. It's an actual YouTube video with MindArk, by MindArk, where they talk about different things that are coming up in game. One of the things that they mention is they're going to be very, very soon rolling out Codex to all planets, not just Cali. So guys, this kind of gives you an idea of how high up I really am. This very well may be one of the highest points on Calypso. So it has always been my goal in game to be able to jump from like the edge of space and just base jump and survive. I can jump from a pretty high height now. I can guarantee you this is definitely going to kill me, but we're going to go for it. So one of the interesting things is they said not only are they going to be rolling out Codex to all planets, which we were very, very aware of, but they said they're also creating Codex meta challenges, which is something that we had heard of previously, but we didn't have a name for it. Here we go. So they had told us that they were going to incorporate attributes into Codex, and that it would take into account all of your previous Codex progression, right? So we knew that was coming. We did not have a name for it. Apparently they're calling it Meta Codex Challenges. And the idea is it takes all your current and previous... Ooh, that hurt. Ow. That was a good one. Yeah, that's a pretty long drop. And they're like Stevie. Apparently what it's going to do is it takes all your previous Codex challenges that you've completed, and it lets you retroactively claim attribute rewards. So one thing that they mentioned in the video that I found very interesting, they said it scales with your avatar skill level. Now when he said this, my very first thought when he said it was that means it's going to be more beneficial to somebody that's a lower level player than to somebody that's a higher level player, right? Now, naturally, a higher level player like Messi is probably going to have many, many more attribute rewards they can redeem. but it seems like it would affect them less than somebody who's a newer player. But they also said the reason this is being done is to avoid the incentive to redeem those attributes later. So what we currently have in our sphere of knowledge is that it's usually best to get certain attributes like agility very, very late in game. Like you really want to be like near 100 or even past 100 agility before you redeem agility tokens, because it is so freakishly hard to get agility the further you go in game. This makes it sound like, if I'm hearing them correctly, not only is it going to benefit newer players more than older players who have more skills and are higher level, but it also seems like it's going to take your actual skill level into account. So it is going to be better to redeem them right away when they're available than to wait and redeem them later. So it will almost be more useful early on than it would be to redeem them later, when it would be less useful. So if I understand what they're saying right with this meta challenge thing related to attribute awards with Codex, you want to get through as many Codex stages as you can. You want to get through as many planet partner stages as you can for the old irons that are out there. But also, you want to redeem the attributes earlier rather than later, and it will also help new players more than it will help older players, even if the older players have many, many more that they can redeem than a newer player. So it seems like this is one of those areas where they finally realized something that needed a lot of attention, and it seems like they really put a lot of thought into it. Now, that said, I am 100% strictly going off what I just saw in that video. That is all the information I have to work with. So I'm immediately going to change my plans. I'm going to go try and finish a few things that I had left unchanged. A few missions that were out there that I hadn't really gotten around to. I'm going to do that like virtually like right now. It would behoove us, it seems, to get through as many Codex levels as we can, especially if you're a newer player. This might mean sticking to one type of puny creature, because under the old system, all punies counted toward puny. Now each creature counts toward its own creature type, right? So that might be something that we want to look at. Give me 1 second, guys. Carrie's messaging me. So that might be something that we want to look at. The other thing to keep in mind is that if you're a newer player, the more levels you can finish, the better. So especially if you're focusing on exosaurs at North Swamp Camp, try and knock out as many of those stages as you can. Guys, every single stage that you complete is super, super beneficial. In fact, I was kind of thinking about putting out a video in the near future. I've done kind of a small mini test run. The Zykion thing still works. Like I said in my video earlier, I tested it today. Zykion still works fine. So if you're a new player wanting to skill at Zykion, that's still a viable way to do it. But really, with Codex, guys, Codex can allow you to skill so quickly to almost make Zykion not even worth doing. I have a friend who had virtually no defense, went into Halloween Mayhem, into the practice arena, and just grinded it out, and went from like literally level 1 to like literally level profession 9 innovator just in the first like 14 levels of Codex reward from Halloween Mayhem. So that being said, Zykion is still a viable thing for a lot of people, but if you've got the money to go hunt and to go cycle and you're focusing on Codex, it's going to get even better. Because with Codex and now with the meta Codex challenges that they're going to roll out, it's really a great way to skill defense. I think what we're going to see, and I've had several other people agree with me on this, is that over the next 3 to 4 years, what we're going to see is the general defense levels of people in Entropia increase. The general skill levels of people in Entropia increase drastically, and what that's going to mean is more people hunting bigger mobs with bigger weapons, cycling more PED. We're going to see bigger all-time highs, and we're unfortunately also going to see bigger losses from that, because there will be people that will be very, very tempted to hunt outside of their skill range. But I think that is where it is headed, so this is a great time to finish up some missions that you've been trying to finish up off-planet. Also a great time to try and finish up as many Codex rewards as you can on planet, because once those meta rewards hit and we see how those attributes are really affecting everybody, I have a feeling MindArk got this very, very right. They get a lot of credit for getting things very, very wrong. It sounds like as long as it's implemented properly, this is going to be one where they get it very, very right. So we got to give them credit where credit is due. So guys, that said, moving on just real quickly, let me touch on what I spent like 30 minutes recording a while ago. That is so funny. They put up a little bitty 2-pane glass gate right here to keep you from going over the edge. Just these little bitty 2 panes of glass on each side of the tunnel, but yet you can go right around it and just jump off the edge. That is like the most useless pane of glass ever. So let me just briefly touch on some of the things that I said in the previous video about new players and, you know, just using your head and etiquette and stuff like that. First of all, don't beg. If you're out of ammo from all the free starter stuff and you're at Icky Icarus, if you're out of weapons, do not beg. Everybody in the chat channels will just ignore you and block you and tell you to stop begging and pull out your Visa card. It's a real cash economy game. Yes, you do get a few freebies to start with. It will not last. At some point, you're going to have to either go sweat and learn to trade, or you're going to have to depot, or all of the above. So please, 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 new players, just get out of a habit of that, because it really does not help you out. In fact, most of the time, it's just an instant ignore, and people know that you're just not going to be around very long. Number 2, guys, don't assume because somebody is a new player that they're not going to be the next big thing. I see this happen a lot. There are some people out there that the more you rag on them, the harder they will try. And you might make fun of somebody today who like eclipses you tomorrow, literally. So keep that in mind too. When you're at Icarus or North Swamp Camp or any place that has a lot of people hunting, naturally, while you're hunting, you're going to hit F. It's going to auto-lock on a mob somebody else is trying to shoot, and you're accidentally going to shoot it. You might even kill it, right? It does happen. It's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to you. It's going to happen from you. Everybody does it. It's happened to everybody, and everybody's done it to somebody else. That is not kill stealing. That is an accident due to how the game functions and having a lot of people hunting the same creatures in a very small space. Just let it go, say you're sorry, and move on. Now, by extension, do not go around kill stealing, because that is a very good way to piss off a lot of people and get a lot of reports made about you very, very quickly, and you can get banned for that. I see this happen a lot of times with people who just want to take out every exosource, so they use the biggest gun they can find. And if that's how you play, then you're probably not going to be around that long. The other thing is, keep in mind that even though we don't have to use finishers now like we did prior to Loot 2.0, if you have a massive amount of overkill, it's going to kill your returns. And trust me, I've tested this. If you go in with like an LR50 and just take out every Exosaur level 3 at North Swamp Camp, your returns are going to be so crap you're going to want to jump out a window. So I do not recommend that at all. You need to pick something that is capable of killing a mob in a decent amount of shots. Some mobs that's 10 to 20 shots, some mobs that's 3 to 5 shots. But if you're one-shotting every mob in sight and your weapon can do like 100 DPS and it's only got 20 health, your returns are going to suck. You're going to make a lot of enemies, and there's going to be a lot of reports get sent in, and MindArk's just going to get tired of you. So that said, guys, stay away from that. If you've got a mentor in-game, or if you've got friends in-game that are telling you, you know, use limited weapons, don't go with old school unlimited weapons, only use maxed weapons, listen. I have a friend who took on a Disciple, and right away he wanted to buy a Jester D1, and it's unlimited, and he knew better, and I was like, you got to kick him because he's going to be gone in a matter of days, and sure enough, he was. We've all kind of been there. We all had to learn the hard way that limited is the way to go, and we do have to repeat this all the time. But guys, do not drive people insane with it. If they've played for, 10 years and you've played for 2 days, they might know a thing or two that you don't. By extension, just because you've played for 15 years and somebody else has played for a day and a half does not give you any more right to be somewhere than them. As you know from my previous video today, somebody got into it. They were at Zykion, and there was somebody who'd been playing for like 15 years, Cobra, that was trying to hunt, and they kind of got in the way. If you're somewhere and somebody's hunting and you're skilling, go opposite ways. At the same time, just because you've played for 15 years, you have no right to be somewhere that they don't, and they have every right to be there just like you do. Oh, well, it's a bannable offense. Oh, well, it's an exploit. No, it's not. Go to a sweat circle. You're sweating an ambu at Royal Club. It hits you, you get defense skills, right? Same exact thing. The mob hits you, you get defense skills. That's called the game mechanic. The only difference is you can't sweat it. Well, that's not what it was intended for. The mob isn't intended to hit you. Since when? That's like literally their entire job is to try and kill you. And then to occasionally award points when they do. It just happens to be a larger amount of points than normal because it's a bigger mob than normal. Then I also heard this one from the same I've been here since beta player. Well, plenty of people got banned for that. I literally posted a copy of my video on Etiquette. 7,200 YouTube views. So 7,200 people have viewed it. Thousands of people have done this to skill at Etiquette. Not one confirmed ban as a result of it. Guys, MindArk has literally sent representatives to watch me skill at Etiquette. If they had a problem with it, if it was an exploit, they would have said something. They would have fixed it by now. It's been almost 3 years. They have not. It's perfectly allowable. And the fact that you've been around Cobra for like 15 to 18 years at this point and have done not jack crap to help the community, while I'm sitting here literally giving away every secret known to man to help new players succeed in game, says a whole hell of a lot about you, my friend. You can call me every name under the sun. At the end of the day, I'm the one giving out every secret to help the new players survive long enough to get to your level and do it profitably. So the fact that you've got 650,000 skill points and have done nothing to help the community is the most unimpressive thing I've ever heard of in my life. That just means that you're a prick. That's all that means. The fact that you want to go around spouting off, well, this is bannable or this is an exploit, when there has literally been 0 confirmed cases of people getting banned for it, proves that you're a prick. So deal with it. That's just how it is. And guys, this is why I have to remind myself, not everybody that plays Entropia is like you. I forget that I picked Entropia because I needed a hobby that I could make a little bit of money from. I could get any hobby in the world, but if it didn't make me money to try and justify compensating me for my time, it wasn't worth even being on the list. And Entropia hit all the buttons, right? I am not the typical Entropia player. I'm not the typical MMORPG player. That also means that by extension, when you watch the South Park World of Warcraft episode and see them as degenerates sitting around in their mom's basement, that's also not the typical Entropia Universe player. So don't assume that somebody that's playing with you kind of has the same profile that you do, because there's all kinds of profiles in this game. There's people from all walks of life, all corners of the earth. Nobody is better than anybody else. I don't care how long you've been playing, you're no better than the next guy. The guy that started 10 minutes ago might be the best player to have ever played Entropia. So don't say that he's not, or don't say that he doesn't have a right to be somewhere. Guys, also the big one that I want to get in on this video, do not make a scene. So this happened to somebody that's a very good friend of mine. He was a new player. Another new player asked him to heal him while he hunted. My friend healed, and then the guy bounced out on the check. So was it intentional? I don't know. Maybe there was a thunderstorm. Maybe the guy's power gets cut off. What's my friend do? Starts blowing up all the chat channels bashing this guy. Well, the problem is this guy's in a very well-known society that has a lot of pull. I immediately start getting calls on my cell phone. Hey, I'm a member of that guy's society. I heard about what happened. I saw it in the chat channels. I go to the guy and try and pay the bill and make it right, and he just keeps going. I literally get a hold of my friend. I'm like, shut up, quit talking, stop, just be quiet. He wants to sit there and argue with me. The fact of the matter is, if you have a problem, go to the people in your society. Go to your friends who have played for longer than you, that have more connections than you do. If my friend had come to me and said, I got stiffed out of a healing bill, and here's what happened, I could have made one phone call and gotten the issue resolved. Instead, he's looking like a butt in all the chat channels. He's probably getting put on people's ignore list. And now, months down the road, he's like, well, I want to do A, B, C, and D. And I'm like, that's great, but you remember that entire society you made mad? The problem is they kind of control A, B, C, and D. So it's not happening. Now, you can do it. There's ways to do it, but it's not as easy. It's not as available. So it's going to be harder. There's people in-game that have more connections that you that have played for longer than you. If you have a problem, there's no loss of pride by going to your friends, going to your teammates, and going, hey, here's the problem I got. Do you have a way to handle this that would be better? There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you need to turn Entropia off, walk away for 30 to 45 minutes, read a book, watch TV, do something else, come back whenever your brain chemicals have rebalanced, and then just hit up a friend and tell them what's going on and see if there's a better way to approach it. So guys, a lot of this stuff should really be common sense. It really, really should. Do not think that you're so smart after playing for 3 days that you're going to be able to scam everybody in the world, hunting pro, and that they're going to be so stupid they're not going to notice. People generally are not idiots. Even new players generally are going to catch on to your BS really, really quickly. I think this is one of the reasons when people try and bash me, it's like, okay, you can try and bash him all day long. Literally, pretty much everybody agrees that he's done more to help the community and the game than anybody. He's willing to give away secrets. Nobody really has anything bad to say about him unless you're just being a butt. Yeah, it just kind of fades into the ether. People are not stupid. They can see through BS very, very, very easily. So as a new player, if you think you're going to scam your way to riches, you're wrong. You're going to be gone in about 2 days. Sometimes it does take MindArk a little while to act, but they will eventually act. So guys, I could go on and on. At the end of the day, I just wanted to cover a couple of the big points because I've had many people asking me to make videos about etiquette for new players. Do me a favor, guys, if you would, some of the older players that are watching these videos, in the comments down below, put some of the things that you've seen new players do and say that are like big no-nos. Stuff that I haven't mentioned in the video. And if you're a new player watching the video, read through the comments. See what some of the other players say, man, this is what really bugs me, or this is one of the big mistakes I made. That way you can learn from us. That way you don't make some of the same mistakes we've all made, right? Guys, if you want to support us, the best way to do it, head over to EarnPED.com, because when you earn, we earn. That is literally the best way to support us. I'm super busy with real life. I'm super busy with work, super busy with other real life commitments and things that I have to do. I will try and be on as often as possible. Christmas Mayhem starts December 3rd, runs till January 12th. That's going to be a big thing on my plate, but I will try and pump out as much content as I can for you guys. Guys, another great way you can support us, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button on every video, because like it or not, Entropia does draw some of the bottom of the barrel, and we do have haters out there just waiting on us to post a video so they can hit the dislike button. So we appreciate every like, every subscriber. All the Stevies matter to us. Guys, also, little closing note, there are people running around the internet trying to rip off my handle. I've had a guy who apparently is trying to pretend that he's me, trying to sell traffic to people on Twitch. First of all, a guy has no idea what he's doing from a technical perspective, which shows kind of the level of intelligence that you're dealing with. But guys, I will make stuff very, very public. I'm not a shy person. I will make things very, 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 very public. If I'm going to do something, I will tell you. If I'm going to start selling traffic to streamers, I would tell you. It would not be a secret where I had to tell them one at a time. I would just put it out there and let them come to me. So nope, not me. Also, the name is StevieB, not Steve with 3s as E's, just StevieB. So you can try and rip me off all day long. I'm right here, and there might be 1,000 imposters, but I'm still standing. And yes, that is a Marshall Mathers reference. I think I said that in the last video too. I recorded like 3 videos today, so I can't remember what I said and what exactly. So guys, I'll leave it right there for now. I hope you've all had a great Thanksgiving and a great Cyber Monday. We're gearing up for version update 17.5. Looks like there's going to be some great stuff in it, and hopefully we'll be able to get a lot of Codex knocked out ahead of time. So guys, I hope you all have a very, very merry mayhem, and we will be back with more content for you very, very soon. Smack, smack, sip, sip, F the haters. Take care, Stevies.